What's up, YouTube? This is Bystander X79, guys. Today I'm coming to you with my latest deck profile video for March 2019. That's right, today is the first day of March. February seemed to fly by, but as you can see, I'm going to be doing a Vendread Impcantation deck. And I can tell you this right now, I've been testing this deck out, playing it for a while, and you know what? It's a very fun deck. Especially if you want to take it to locals. It can even turn around still wins at regionals if you wanted to do that. But I can tell you right now, the incantations in this deck add this a whole lot more consistency to the deck, and it allows you to do a whole lot of nutty things with your ritual monsters. So without further ado, we're going to get right into things. We're going to start with the ritual lineup. So we're going to do 2 copies of Vendread Slayer. Okay, Slayer has an awesome effect where you could banish a zombie type monster from your graveyard, up its attack by 300 attack points, which is cool. Goes up to from 24 to 2700 attack. And a real cool thing about it is that whenever this card leaves the field, whether it be linked off, synchroed off, used as a tribute for another ritual summon, you're going to be getting a ritual spell from your deck to your hand at the cost of sending another Vendread monster from your deck to your graveyard. So essentially, it's going to be recurring you and setting up your future plays all in once. It's just such a great card, and it searches out any ritual spell, which is just great. All right, 2 copies of Vendread Battlelord. Battlelord is actually a pretty favorite of mine. Its effect basically allows you to declare one type of card, monster, spell, or trap, and then your opponent is not allowed to activate those cards for the rest of the turn. So it's a great way to stun out your opponent if they decide to settle out back row. In that Sky Striker matchup, you call spells that pretty much gives you free reign without having to worry about things like Widow Anchor. And against the Altergeist matchup, yeah, you're not worrying about the traps. Alright, and just like Slayer, if this card is ever sent to the graveyard, again, link, synchro, tribute it for another ritual monster, you're going to be getting any ritual monster from your deck to your hand at the cost of sending one Vendread monster from your deck to your graveyard. Set up your plays, and just keep going. So awesome. Alright, the last Vendread ritual monster is 1 copy of Vendread Executor. Alright, Executor is treated as Slayer while face up in the field. Okay, it can come in handy if you have Revenge Origins in your graveyard, so you can protect it with that. It has a continuous effect where basically your opponent's not allowed to target any other cards on your field, except for this one, which is awesome. Alright, now this one does have an effect where you have to turn around and have it destroyed by your opponent by battle or their card effects in order to turn around and search your deck for any Vendread cards. So, yeah, it's not as good as the other 2 Vendread rituals where you can turn around and just search out any ritual spell, or ritual monsters. This one, you're just searching out any Vendread. And a lot of times you're going to be doing that with the other ones in the incantation, so you're really not going to be using this last effect that much. Alright, the last ritual monster, oh boy, is 2 copies of Incantation Chalice. Oh, this card adds so much to the deck. Oh my god. Okay. So yes, this can only be ritual summon with Incantation Inception, the ritual spell. Alright, you can turn around and reveal this card to from your hand, discard 1, and then discard 1 card to special summon a Incantation monster from your deck to your field, which is pretty awesome. And all the Incantation monsters effects will then trigger, allowing you to search either a ritual monster or a spell either from the graveyard or the deck to your hand. So that's just awesome. Okay. And the other thing is that, yeah, but the downside is if you don't ritual summon during that turn, you lose 2,500 life. But that's not going to be a hard thing to do with this deck. All right, keep going. You're going to have. You could turn around and send 1 incantation card from your hand or your field to the graveyard. Target 1 card your opponent controls, or actually 1 monster your opponent controls, and just pop it. So it's kind of like, it's basically a hand trap built into a ritual monster, and it's just so flippin' awesome to get that extra spot removal in this deck. Alright, so that's the ritual lineup. Alright, for the Vendread lineup, we have Vendread Anima. Okay, you can banish this. Alright, so basically you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one of your banished Vendread monsters except for anima, and special summon it, which is actually very cool. And on all Vendread main deck monsters have an ability where they add extra effects to the ritual monsters if they're used as a tribute for that ritual. And anima basically is Spanish any monster destroyed by battle with that ritual monster that used anima as a tribute. So that's actually pretty cool. Man. Alright. Then you have Corum. Basically, if this card's sent to your graveyard, you can banish one of the zombie monster from your graveyard and special summon this card. Alright, and like all Vendread cards, if at least it feels banished, so don't worry about it. If it's used as a tribute for a Vendread monster, that Vendread monster can't be targeted by a card effect. So imagine using Core in combination to ritual summon Executor. All of a sudden, now your opponent can't target anything on your field. So, very awesome. Alright. Sturges. Again, if this card's sent to the graveyard, you can discard a Vendread card from your hand to special summon it, and if it leaves the field, banish it. Yada yada, you got that whole idea. If it's used as a tribute for a Vendread ritual monster, and it destroys a monster, that ritual monster destroys a monster by battle, you get to turn around and draw a card and discard a card. So it gives you like kind of like a Dark World Dealing / Danger Mothman style effect. And it's a little bit more consistency and sets up the plays, which is very awesome. Alright. Hound Horn. Alright, if this card is sent to the graveyard, it's in your graveyard, you discard a Vendread card from your hand, special summon this card, again, banish it when it leaves the field, and it gives the ritual monster using it as a tribute a quick effect which allows you to go after your opponent's back row and banishing stuff, which is just awesome. Great in matchups against all the guys and Sky Strikers, which is just huge. Alright. Then you turn around and have Vendread Revenants. Alright, if this card monster is destroyed by battle, you can bring it back. Alright. Again, if it's special summoned, banish it when it leaves the field. And it gives another quick effect to the ritual monster that uses it as a tribute, and that's going to be target one special summon monster your opponent controls and banish it. So it gives you more spot removal. So this deck does have a bit more control and a lot more hate to it. Alright, for the Incantation lineup, we have both Pencil Plume and we have Talisman. Now, both of these cards require you to reveal a ritual monster in the hand in order to special summon it. And then when you special summon this monster, you can special summon another Incantation monster from your deck to the field. And all Incantation monsters, when they're special summoned from the deck to the field, give you the ability to search or recur resources from the graveyard. Pencil Plume allows you to get a ritual monster from the graveyard to the field, while Talisman searches a ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Alright, so that's actually pretty cool. Graveyard to the hand, excuse me. Alright, and just like with the other two, we have these two incantations, Candle and Bookstone. Again, reveal a ritual spell, special summon out another incantation, and then if it's special summon, if either these two are special summoned by an incantation effect, you're searching or recurring a ritual spell either from your deck or your graveyard. Alright, Candles from the deck, Bookstones from the graveyard. Please note that Bookstone is also a spellcaster. Damn handy if you're in an Altergeist matchup and then throw that Secret Village of the spellcaster up. So keep that in mind. It's an extra little tool aspect for the deck. Alright, some generic zombie fun, Unizombie, and of course with Unizombie we gotta turn around and have a couple copies of Solitaire. Alright, normal summon Solitaire, tribute it off, then special summon Unizombie or from the deck. Unizombie can send stuff from your deck, zombie cards from your deck to your graveyard to power boost its levels or another monster's level on zombie monster's level on your field, and then you can just turn around and synchro off from there. Alright. For more zombie fun of sending things to the graveyard, you have Gozuki. Basically, once per turn you can send a zombie card from your deck to your graveyard. Awesome. And if it's ever in your graveyard, you can turn around and banish a zombie monster and special summon a zombie monster from your graveyard, which is pretty cool. Okay. And the monsters you want to be sending to the graveyard, well, you have one copy of Goldblum, which is pretty awesome. It's a level 1 tuner, which can come up every now and then, but the real cool thing about it is you can banish this card from your graveyard and special summon, or actually search your deck for any level 5 or higher zombie type monster and add it to your hand. what are the level 5 or higher zombie type monsters? They're all your Vendread ritual monsters. So is this one little extra search for the deck to have. Alright, and of course the one key card you're going to be wanting to send to the graveyard and constantly recycle back is going to be Mizuki. Yeah. Mizuki's in the graveyard, banish it, special summon a zombie type monster right from your graveyard to the field, so boom. Has to be run at 3 in every zombie deck. Every zombie deck. Alright, on to the spells. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Alright, there are 17 Dark Attribute monsters in this deck, so you're going to have plenty of targets to use this with. Not an issue. Alright, this deck does a lot of searching, so you gotta respect the hand traps. 3 copies of Call by the Grave. It's a staple. Must. Alright, 1 copy of Impcantation Inception, which is just awesome. And the cool thing about this card is this card can ritual summon any ritual monster, not just Incantation Chalice, which is just huge. And it can also recur itself, basically by sending a Incantation monster from your field or your hand to the graveyard, and then you can special summon another one, an Incantation from your deck to your field, and get this card back into your hand. So flippin' awesome. All you need is 1. Alright. 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Hey, sometimes you need to get something back out of the graveyard. This will do it for you. 3 copies of Pre-Preparation of Right. And 3 copies of Vendread Origins. Alright. Pre-Prep can actually search out Origins primarily because it does list a ritual monster's name in its card text. So you get both Origin and a Slayer into your hand ASAP, which is just huge. Okay? And like I mentioned before, Revengeant Origin has this ability of a Slayer on your field is going to be destroyed by battle. You can just banish this card out, Origin out of the graveyard itself to protect it. So that's actually pretty awesome. Alright, that's it for the main deck. Extra deck. Extra deck is kind of fun. Alright. Mostly zombie monsters, so Vampire Sucker is pretty awesome. Alright. This card actually has 2 effects. Basically, you can target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon to the field, but it becomes a zombie type monster, and then if the zombie type monster is special summon to either player's field, guess what? You're drawing a card. So she's actually pretty awesome to have. They get a little more consistency in the deck. But you only really need is 1. Alright. A lot of Dark Attribute monsters in the deck, so Witch Apprentice is a no-brainer here. Power boost all your Dark Attribute monsters up by 500 attack. And if she ever is popped and leaves the field, you're getting a Dark Attribute monster from your graveyard back into your hand, so it just helps out. I am running Decode Talker. Decode Talker, yeah. Link 3, not bad card. Generic Link 3. Powers itself up. It's a Dark Attribute, so if you have Witch in the field with it, so it's even stronger. And it can actually protect by sending stuff it points to the graveyard. And zombie decks don't really care if stuff hits the graveyard, so awesome card to have. Another Link 3, Topological Trisbania. Yeah, this card doesn't put any back row, so having this card in your extra deck is actually very good, especially when you're going against the Sky Striker and Altergeist matchups. Special summon it, something to a zone it points to, banish it, take out the back row. Such a good card. And to go along with Trisbania, I also run Bomber Dragon. Again, zombies don't care if shit hits the graveyard, so boom. Special summon anything to things and it nukes the field. Or at least your main monster zone, so awesome. The Borough Brothers make an appearance, both Borough Sword and Borough Load. OTK, bust fields open. Necessary. Alright, that's it for the links. For the synchros, I do run a copy of Bionic. Basically, Bionic allows you to send stuff from your hand to your graveyard to bounce stuff off your opponent's field back to the hand, which is actually very handy. The thing is that this is an older printing of Bionic. The newer printings have a hard once per turn on its effect, so just remember that. Bionic is the Dragon of the Iceberry is a hard once per turn now. Alright. The other level 6 is Samurai Saga, which is actually a very cool monster. basically one sheer zombie type tuner and then one non-zombie type monster. Once per turn, during either player's turn, a quick effect, you can turn around and target one of your banished zombie type monsters, shuffle back in the deck, and then you can turn all your opponent's monsters on the field that has an attack lower than that monster's attack into defense position, which is actually pretty cool if your opponent has a lot of small monsters in the field. Alright, and then of course it has other effects where you can turn around and if it's destroys into the battle, you can turn around and do things with your banished monster. So it's actually pretty cool and solid card to have in the deck. Black Rose Dragon, nuke the field, self-explanatory. Side frame Zetas, yeah, knock problematic special summon monsters off the field. Play keep away with that stuff. Just so awesome. Yazi, the evil, the Yangzing, more spot removal, can't be targeted, so a great card to have. Alright, Beals can't be destroyed by battle or card effect, and if your opponent hits you with effect damage or manages to attack over it, you're going to be upping this card's attack power, so you're always going to be in the driver's seat with this card. Side frame Lord Omega, pretty standard in zombie deck, rips cards out of your opponent's hands, can actually recycle stuff out of the battlefield back into the graveyard, which is so important. And can even recycle stuff out of the graveyard back into your decks, so always a good card to have. And then you have Shogun Saga, which can basically banish a zombie type monster from your graveyard to your field, from the graveyard, and basically powers itself up by that monster's original attack. So if you have an Executor in your graveyard, this card's going to, Shogun Saga is going to go up to 6,000 attack, which is just huge. And the cool thing is that if this card is ever destroyed, you get to turn on target a zombie type monster with zero defense, excuse me, and get it back into your graveyard, which is basically a great way to get Executor back into the graveyard. So you're going to have a lot of fun with this card. Alright. Guys, that is it from my Vendread Impcantation deck. This deck is so insanely fun. I strongly suggest that you actually try it out. If you like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss a single upload. Guys, I do have some great uploads coming up next week. I am making another announcement for my March giveaway. So you'll find out what that's going to be like on Monday. And guys, don't forget to check out my Discord. I started up a channel on my Discord talking about ban list hits. Hit me up there. Let me know what you think should be hit on the upcoming list, what should come off. I would love to hear your opinions. Also, check out the other channels on my Discord channel. I am turning around looking for guest uploads for my channel as well. Would love to turn around and get some aspiring YouTubers out there into the world to help them out. I love paying it forward. So guys, until next time, peace.